A lot of people will compare Star Wars: The Old Republic to World of Warcraft, so here's my comparison of the two games. I'll be comparing the graphics, sound, PvP, PvE content, fluff, sandbox features, and then giving my final verdict. You should already know if you like the graphics in WoW or TOR. It's important to note that TOR looks a lot better than it did in videos from 2009, and WoW looks a lot better today than it did in previous expansions. Each have their own unique art designs. In WoW, you're going to have to get used to big shoulders, and in TOR, you're going to have to get used to fat aliens. The combat animations in TOR look a little bit more advanced than those in WoW and give a greater feeling of immersion, but ultimately, it's up to your personal preference which visual style you prefer. WoW got new songs after the Cataclysm expansion, and they're truly epic. TOR is bringing in hours of original music in addition to John Williams' classic Star Wars music and music from Knights of the Old Republic. WoW's music sounds more like something is epic and about to happen, but TOR's music changes depending on the situation. I usually turn the music off in MMOs, but in TOR, I turn it up to max. When it comes to other areas of sound design, TOR clearly outspent their competition. When you smash lightsabers in TOR, it sounds like it. When you stab someone, it sounds like it hurts. The sound department is a victory for TOR. TOR's mainstay of player versus player combat is Warzones. Warzones are objective-based team matches similar to WoW's Battlegrounds. In fact, two of the Warzones are rip-offs of WoW Battleground mechanics. Alderaan Civil War is similar to Battle for Gilneas, and Voidstar is just like Strand of the Ancients in WoW. Huttball is something unique and resembles a real-life sport more than any other battleground. TOR also offers a PvP planet called Ilum, which has control points. It's similar to the Etmors in Lord of the Rings Online, but not really similar to anything in World of Warcraft. There are some other open-world PvP areas in TOR, but that's about it. For WoW, you have random battlegrounds, rated battlegrounds, arenas, and Tolbarad, which is like a large-scale battleground that only happens at specified times. The winner in this case is easy to call. World of Warcraft has a lot more to do in regards to player versus player combat. While TOR's 3 Warzones are fun, and more than WoW had at launch, I'm not comparing WoW at launch to TOR at launch. I'm comparing WoW right now to TOR right now. In this regard, there's a greater variety of PvP options in WoW, more battlegrounds than TOR has Warzones, a hardcore PvP community, and WoW arenas are better poised to become a real-life esport that people could do for a living. The player versus environment category covers a lot of ground, from leveling up to solo content to endgame raiding. WoW has a lot of unique quests with interesting mechanics. For example, there's a quest that contains a Plants vs. Zombies minigame that has a sunflower pet as a reward. That's really awesome. When it comes to story and writing, WoW falls a little flat. There are some really cool story moments in place like the starter area for the Worgens or the starter area for the Death Knights, and some raids have really great story moments as well. But these moments are not the norm. Rarely did I stop to read the quests that were given to me while I was questing. So I may have missed some good stuff, but whatever good stuff I missed is buried under paragraphs and paragraphs of mediocre writing. TOR has a lot less minigames and unique mechanics in their quests, but the incredible writing and multiple choices in dialogue scenes keeps me coming back over and over. It's incredibly satisfying to tell an annoying character that you're going to kill them right before you shoot them in the face, or to flirt with everyone in sight until you get lucky with a romantic scene. TOR's leveling up process ends up being a lot more fun than WoW's. When you solo, it feels like a single-player role-playing game, and in a group it feels like some strange multi-person version of Mass Effect. But the leveling up is only part of the PvE experience. You can't talk about player versus environment without also talking about endgame. When it comes to solo endgame, like rep grinds, daily quests, achievement hunting, and the like, WoW's offerings are more addictive than TOR's affection grinding, searching for datacrons or hunting achievements, and codex entries. TOR and WoW offer similar things, but they're just more fleshed out, and the achievement system in TOR is a very good example of this. There's a lot less achievements. When it comes to group-based endgame, WoW offers a raid and several dungeons. All of this content is really well designed, but it gets stale over time. Group-based endgame in TOR consists of over a dozen hard mode dungeons called flashpoints, heroic quest areas, and 2 raids. The raids offer 3 difficulty settings: normal, hard, and nightmare. At the time of this recording, TOR's alt-leveling system called the Legacy system isn't fully implemented yet, so I can't consider it as part of their endgame. You would think that WoW, having been out for so many years now, would have more endgame content than TOR could possibly match, but surprisingly, TOR actually offers more group-based endgame than WoW. Very few of WoW's dungeons are useful as endgame progression, and there doesn't appear to be any reason to go back and do raids from past expansions other than for the achievement. Considering the more enjoyable leveling experience and the large number of options for group-based endgame, TOR wins this category. Fluff includes things like vanity pets, special mounts, cosmetic outfits, and other novelties that keep your attention for a short while. Over the years, WoW has built up a ton of these things. You can spend hundreds of hours hunting after pets, while TOR has a few of these things. A couple mouse droids and a few craftable speeders don't compete with what WoW is bringing. WoW has more fluff items, period. The term Sandbox refers to tools given to the player to allow them to create content themselves. This includes things like player-generated missions and NPCs, housing and house decorating, role-playing tools, social emotes, and animations. In this category, the answer is very clear. Both WoW and TOR fail hard. WoW has a few more social animations and emotes. TOR has player ships which kind of feel like a house, but nowhere near what you'd expect in other MMOs that have a full housing system with decorations. TOR and WoW are the most purely theme park MMOs in the market, like it or not. As far as Sandbox features go, I'm going to have to call this one a tie. Every game offers something unique. Ultimately, whichever game your friends are playing is probably going to be more fun for you. But if you're coming into either WoW's Cataclysm expansion or Star Wars The Old Republic as a solo individual with no friends, I think TOR offers a better experience overall. As expected of a newer game, the sound and graphics are better in TOR, but the professionally written quests and the large array of content is too good to pass up. If you're looking for an MMO to try, TOR is the most easy to recommend MMO on the market today.